Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to one of our conversations. One more of our conversations. My name is Juan Pardo. I'm a policy officer, but also an adult learning tutor, which is why I'm here today. We are at the Adult Learning Center in Enderby, and today and tomorrow is going to be some tasters for people who want to learn language, isn't it? So today with me is Astrid, which is a German tutor. So what can you tell us a little bit more about what happens today?
Nice to be here, Juan. So today we have a few different events, as you said, for people who want to, have a go at learning a language. So we've got a French taster, a Spanish taster, and a German taster today, and we've also got Spanish and Italian tomorrow.
Okay, so you are a German tutor.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit more about what do you do, what does it entail to be a tutor, and in particular German tutor, and perhaps what you like most about doing that?
So my role is to teach learners German. In the German, we have courses that run from kind of absolute beginners to people who have no knowledge or experience of German whatsoever, up to intermediate course for people who've been learning the language for about 4 years. And then in some of our other languages, we go to people who've been learning the language for sort of 5-6 years. So they do more advanced areas of study, lots of conversation and things like that. So in terms of my role, it's about teaching, it's about engaging the learners, getting them to really enjoy speaking German in a kind of fun, interactive session. And also there's a little bit around kind of, and it's those 4 kind of key skills really about learning a language. So within the classroom environment, we focus a lot on the kind of the speaking and the listening, and then homework, because you don't get out of homework just because you're an adult learner. That's when we tend to give there's more time then for students to do things like the reading and the writing, which are the other kind of key components really of learning
and
language.
For you, what you like most about teaching?
So I find teaching it's a really rewarding job. One of the things that I really like is students who come back and tell me that they've learned the language, they've used the language on holiday, things like that. They've been able to have conversations with family. For example, they've been able to order food in a restaurant, and sometimes it's those like little light bulb moments where that a learner's just kind of really grasped something, or got a lot more confident, those kind of things.
Good. One of the things that probably we both know is that most of the students that come, they are adults, and I'm talking probably most of them over 25, even over 30. Some of the things that they said is they feel a bit fearful of starting doing something which involves learning again. So tell us a little bit more about what really entails. What is the difference between this and enroll yourself in something far more, perhaps, formal route, and why should they enroll to do any language?
Well, it's just well, obviously I'm biased, but it's just such a fun thing to do. I think once people get the bug, they just want to kind of carry on, learning more and more. One of the pieces of student feedback that I had this year, this was the first time that a learner had tried learning a language from scratch. They really enjoyed it and they want to kind of carry on and do more. So, and it's fun, it's interactive, it's conversational, it's not kind of, me as a tutor standing there at the board, everyone kind of sits there in silence. It's not about that at all. It's about lots of the groups I teach, they kind of, as a group, they form like a group of friends. It's that kind of social
I was going to say that,
interaction.
listen, there is something that they tend to do, at least the feedback I had is a lot of people, obviously they come to learn the language, but they, like a group I had this year, they create a group themselves, they made after the classes, and it's a sense of collaboration and cooperation that perhaps they didn't experience, some of them in the school. It's a very different environment. It's more about fun, it's more about doing things and learning in a practical way, isn't it?
Exactly.
With that in mind, another thing I guess that people wonder, because we had that question asked many times before, is do they have to do exams? If they have to do some type of test, what does it entail? What can we tell them?
With once you've progressed beyond the kind of the taste of the absolute beginners course, then for some of the more advanced levels, if you like, there is we don't talk about tests, we don't talk about exams, we call them assessments.
Yes.
And that's what it's designed to do. It's about demonstrating really your confidence and competence in the language. So it's not mandatory by any means. Lots of learners, I would say, are not the biggest fans of maybe doing tests and things like that. Maybe they've not had the best experience at school. But generally speaking, it's going to be exactly along the same sorts of lines as the sorts of things that you'll either do in the class or that you'll do for homework. So, for example, for homework, you'll have a reading comprehension. So you'll have like a short text to read with some questions about the text to answer. Similarly, if you're talking about speaking, then the sorts of topic areas that we cover are things like buying food at a market, in a bakery, buying clothes, all sorts of things like that. So the assessment is participating in a dialogue with the tutor. Can you buy some, I don't know, potatoes or apples at the market and things like that? And you have, certainly for the dialogue and things like that, you have time to prepare, so you can kind of prepare your answers in advance. You kind of know, it's not to trick anybody or catch anybody out, things like that. So you have time to prepare, you sort of know the sorts of things that the tutor is going to ask you, and then provided you pass, and all of my learners have passed so far, then you get a nice little certificate in the post, which actually students really like. They like having that, yes, I can do this, and it's not just the tutor saying it,
Exactly. It's something I was going to say. It's more about demonstrating themselves. They have been able to achieve something, and they have accomplished a level of language proficiency, which allows to say, okay, we're able to say certain things which we're not able to do before, and hopefully that will entice them to continue. So now, if someone wants to enroll, someone wants to find out more about these courses, what can they do? How can they contact us? What contact details have we got?
So it's very timely that we're recording this conversation today, because today is the opening day for enrolment for all of our adult learning courses, including German. So they can contact us, they can phone us. The phone number is a free phone number. It's 0800 988 0308. You can email us. The email address is adultlearning at leics.gov.uk, or you can enrol via our brand new website, which launched today, and the web address for that is golearnleicestershire.ac.uk. So that's Go Learn Leicestershire, all one word, .ac.uk.
Thank you very much, Astrid. That's great.